You know what truly separates people who turn their biggest dreams into reality from those who never get there? It isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's belief. That simple, quiet, incredibly powerful belief that you are capable of achieving something meaningful and doing great things. Because the reality is, we don't always act based on what is objectively possible. We act based on what we personally believe is possible. In The Magic of Thinking Big, David Schwartz explains that everything begins inside your mind. When you think small, your actions naturally become small. But when you think big, you start taking bigger, bolder actions. And sooner or later, your results begin to reflect the size of your mindset. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you stopped yourself from applying for a better job, launching a business, sharing your opinion in a meeting, or taking a major opportunity simply because a small voice inside your head said, "You aren't ready," or "You're probably not good enough"? That voice isn't necessarily telling you the truth. Very often, it's simply fear wearing the mask of realism. Schwartz challenges us to recognize that limiting mindset and break free from it. He explains that belief can work like a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you genuinely believe that something can be achieved, you naturally start searching for ways to make it happen. Your energy increases, your concentration becomes sharper, and your behavior becomes more confident. And when other people see that confidence, they often begin responding to you differently as well. Belief has a contagious quality. When you genuinely believe in yourself and allow that confidence to show, people around you can begin believing in you too. But the obvious question is, how do you create that kind of belief when your doubts seem louder than your confidence? The answer is to begin with small changes. Start noticing the thoughts that constantly put limits on you. Instead of automatically saying, "I can't do this," pause and ask yourself, "How can I make this work?" That tiny shift in language can create a massive shift in your thinking because your brain stops searching for reasons why something won't work and starts looking for possible solutions. You can also use visualization. Picture yourself succeeding, but don't treat it like some unrealistic fantasy. Imagine it with clarity, emotion, and detail. See yourself completing that difficult project. Imagine yourself delivering that presentation with confidence. Picture yourself reaching the goal you've been working toward. The more clearly you can imagine a possibility, the more familiar that possibility begins to feel to your mind. And always remember, self-confidence isn't the same thing as arrogance. Confidence doesn't mean believing you already know everything. It means having the quiet certainty that you have the ability to learn, improve, adapt, and figure things out along the way. People who think big don't necessarily have everything figured out from the beginning. They don't have every answer. They simply trust themselves enough to believe that they will find a way forward. And because they hold on to that belief, they are much more likely to keep searching until they actually do. So the first real magic of thinking big is this: believe in yourself even before you have proof. Believe before the result becomes visible. Because belief doesn't always come after success. In many cases, success begins because belief came first. Once you truly understand this principle, you start seeing the world around you differently. Most people spend their entire lives inside invisible walls, and those walls aren't always physical. They are created by thoughts, assumptions, past experiences, and opinions they accepted from other people. They don't dream too high. They don't reach too far. They don't take enough chances. Why? Because at some point in their lives, someone probably told them, "Be realistic." But here's the interesting part. What we often call realistic can sometimes be nothing more than another word for limited. Thinking big doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending that obstacles don't exist. It means expanding your perception of what reality could become. David Schwartz emphasizes that the level of your success is strongly influenced by the size of your thinking. Small thinking keeps you trapped inside familiar, safe, predictable circles. It may feel comfortable, but comfort can also become a cage. Big thinking, on the other hand, pushes you toward unfamiliar territory. It encourages you to explore new challenges, recognize new opportunities, and consider possibilities that you may have previously dismissed as being outside your reach. When you start thinking bigger, you naturally begin asking bigger questions. Instead of asking, "How can I simply get by?" you begin asking, "How can I create something that actually makes a difference?" Instead of asking, "What's the minimum I need to do?" You start asking, what is the maximum I could potentially achieve? That's what thinking big really means. It isn't about living in a fantasy world. It isn't about blindly chasing fame, money, or attention. It's about widening the mental lens through which you see your life. It's about seeing yourself differently. It's about looking at your goals from a larger perspective. And most importantly, it's about recognizing that your current circumstances don't necessarily define your ultimate potential. Thinking big means expecting more from life because you understand that you are capable of giving more to life. The moment you begin seeing yourself as someone who is worthy of good things, capable of success, and deserving of meaningful opportunities, your behavior starts moving in alignment with that identity. And here's another powerful truth. Every major achievement began as a thought. The airplane, the smartphone, the skyscraper, the invention, the business, the movement that changed society, all of these things began inside someone's imagination before they ever became visible in the real world. Big thinkers see possibilities where others see barriers. They aren't necessarily more talented or more special than everyone else. They simply refuse to allow small thoughts to control the direction of their future. So how do you begin developing a bigger thinking mindset? Start by paying attention to the people around you. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, ambition, courage, and possibility. The energy, beliefs, and expectations you constantly absorb from other people can influence how far you believe you can go. If you're constantly surrounded by people who tell you why something won't work, eventually you may start thinking the same way. But when you're around people who challenge you to grow, your vision of what's possible begins to expand. Next, challenge the small language you use with yourself. Instead of saying, "I hope," start thinking, "I will." Instead of constantly saying, "maybe," start asking yourself what it would take to make it definite. Your words influence your thoughts, and your thoughts influence your actions. Finally, set goals that are slightly beyond your current comfort zone. Don't make them completely impossible. Make them challenging enough to stretch your abilities. Your goals should force you to learn something new, develop new skills, become more disciplined, and grow into a stronger version of yourself. Because when you think bigger, your mind gradually grows to match your vision. You begin taking more courageous actions. You start speaking with greater confidence. You become more willing to approach opportunities that once seemed completely outside your league. And eventually, you realize something important. The world often responds differently to people who think differently. So stop constantly asking yourself, what's reasonable? Start asking, what's possible? That's where the real magic begins. Now let's be honest about something else. Fear and excuses are among the biggest dream killers in the world. You can have talent, you can have potential, you can have ambition, you can even have a brilliant idea. But if fear is sitting in the driver's seat, you may never travel very far. David Schwartz describes this pattern as excusitis, a tendency to constantly create excuses that protect us from taking uncomfortable action. And once you learn to recognize it, you'll realize just how often it appears in everyday life. Excusitis can take many different forms. There is health excusitis. I would love to work toward my goals, but I don't have enough energy. Then there is age excusitis. I'm too young to start. Or, I'm too old to make a change. Then comes intelligence excusitis. I'm just not smart enough to do something like that. And finally, there's luck excusitis. Other people are simply lucky. Things work out for them because they were born lucky. I just wasn't given the same opportunities. Does any of that sound familiar? These excuses often sound reasonable. They can even sound logical. But many times, they are simply ways of protecting ourselves from discomfort, uncertainty, rejection, or failure. They give us a convenient way to escape responsibility before we've even made an attempt. But here's the truth. Everyone experiences fear. Every successful person you admire has experienced moments of uncertainty. They've questioned themselves. They've worried about failing. They've wondered whether they were good enough. The difference isn't that successful people never feel fear. The difference is that they continue moving forward while fear is present. They don't wait for fear to disappear before taking action. They take action despite the fear. Schwartz reminds us that action is one of the most powerful cures for fear. The longer you sit and think about something you're afraid to do, the larger that fear can become. But the moment you take even one small step, something begins to change. Your confidence starts increasing. Your uncertainty starts decreasing. And the fear that seemed so powerful before begins losing some of its control over you. Here's a mindset shift that can help you deal with fear. Instead of constantly asking yourself, "What if I fail?" try asking, "What if I succeed?" Our brains are naturally designed to protect us, which means they often focus on potential problems and worst-case scenarios. But when you deliberately visualize positive outcomes, imagine yourself making progress, and think about how fulfilling success could feel, you begin training your mind to consider a different possibility. You teach your brain that the future doesn't only contain threats, it can also contain opportunities. You can train yourself to expect progress instead of automatically expecting failure. And when it comes to excuses, stop allowing them to control the story you tell yourself. Every time you repeatedly say, "I can't," you strengthen a mental limitation. So the next time you catch yourself making an excuse, pause for a moment and ask, "Is this actually a fact, or is this fear pretending to be logic?" Very often you'll discover that what sounded like a rational reason was actually a fear you were trying to avoid facing. And once you recognize that, you have a choice. You can continue listening to the excuse, or you can choose courage. Remember, nobody creates a remarkable life by constantly choosing the safest possible option. Fear becomes smaller when you face it. Excuses become weaker when you replace them with action. So the next time fear whispers, "You're not ready," don't argue with it for hours. Take one small step forward anyway. You don't need to feel completely prepared. You don't need to eliminate every doubt. You simply need to move. Because one of the most effective ways to reduce fear is to walk directly through it and prove to yourself that it never had as much power over you as you thought. Now let's talk about confidence. Confidence isn't something you're simply born with. It is something you build. And you don't build it by sitting around waiting for the perfect moment when you suddenly feel ready. You build it by taking action before you feel ready. David Schwartz makes the principle simple. Action cures fear. The more you do, the more capable and confident you begin to feel. The less you do, the more room you give doubt to grow. It's really that simple. Think about the first time you ever tried something unfamiliar. Maybe it was driving a car. Maybe it was speaking in front of a group. Maybe it was starting a new job. Maybe it was having a difficult conversation or taking responsibility for something completely new. You probably felt nervous. You may have felt uncertain. You may even have been genuinely afraid. But once you actually started doing it, something interesting happened. The fear gradually became smaller. Why? Because experience began replacing uncertainty with evidence. Every time you take action, you collect proof that you are capable of handling challenges. Every small action becomes another piece of evidence supporting your belief in yourself. And that's how confidence is really built, not by waiting for the perfect moment, not by thinking about success endlessly, but through small wins, repeated actions, and real experiences. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that confidence comes first and action comes afterward. They think, once I become confident, I'll finally start. But in reality, the process usually works in the opposite direction. You act first, then confidence begins to appear. It's similar to building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Confidence works in much the same way. The more often you step into situations that challenge you, the more comfortable you become with discomfort. And eventually, situations that once seemed terrifying start feeling manageable. So how can you apply this principle in your own life? Start with small, consistent actions. Don't focus on perfection. Focus on progress. If public speaking makes you nervous, don't immediately try to become the greatest speaker in the room. Start by speaking once during a meeting. If you want to build a business, don't feel like you need to create the perfect company overnight. Take one simple step today. Research your idea, talk to a potential customer, study your market, write down your business plan, make the first move. Every action you take is like making a deposit into your confidence bank. The more deposits you make, the stronger your self-belief becomes. And there's another powerful habit you should develop. Learn to celebrate small victories. Most people only celebrate major achievements. They wait until they reach the final destination before giving themselves any credit. But real confidence is often built during the tiny moments that nobody else notices. It's built when you show up even though you don't feel like it. It's built when you take action despite discomfort. It's built when you do something you once believed you couldn't do. So acknowledge those moments. Recognize your courage, even when the step seems small. That recognition sends an important message to your mind. I can handle more than I thought. And when that belief becomes stronger, you're ready to take the next step. Finally, remember this. People who appear highly confident aren't necessarily fearless. They haven't somehow escaped uncertainty. They've simply learned how to take action while fear is still present. They trust themselves enough to believe that they don't need to know every answer before they begin. They know that they can learn along the way. They know that mistakes don't automatically mean failure. And most importantly, they trust that when they reach a problem they don't understand, they'll figure out the next step. That is the real foundation of confidence. Not the absence of fear, but the belief that you can move forward despite it. So, rather than waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, or the perfect level of confidence, take one courageous step today. Confidence doesn't appear because you spend more time thinking about it. It develops because you take action. And the more action you take, the more powerful and unstoppable you begin to feel. Your attitude works like a magnet. It can either attract opportunities toward you or push those opportunities away. David Schwartz emphasizes that success doesn't begin with talent, skills, or luck. It begins with a positive mental attitude. The way you think influences the way you feel, and the way you feel directly influences the way you behave. When your attitude is positive, your actions become stronger and more effective. But when your attitude is negative, even the best strategy or plan can lose its power. Think about the people you genuinely enjoy spending time with. Chances are they naturally radiate positive energy. Being around them makes you feel hopeful, motivated, confident, and capable. That isn't simply a coincidence. Positive people create an environment where ideas, creativity, confidence, and possibilities can grow. Negativity does the opposite. It drains creativity, weakens confidence, and makes every challenge look bigger while making every opportunity appear smaller. As Schwartz explains, the size of your success is closely connected to the size of your belief, and strong belief is supported by a positive mindset. Here's a simple but powerful truth. Life is largely shaped by perspective. Two people can experience exactly the same situation, yet respond to it completely differently. One person may look at the situation and see a dead end. Another person may see a temporary detour that could eventually lead somewhere better. The circumstance may be identical, but the attitude is different. You cannot always control everything that happens to you. You cannot control every obstacle, setback, rejection, or unexpected problem. But you can control how you choose to respond, and your response often determines whether you rise above the situation or remain trapped inside it. Positive thinking doesn't mean pretending that problems don't exist. It doesn't mean acting as though everything in life is perfect. Instead, it means deliberately choosing to focus your attention on what you can control and searching for the lesson, possibility, or opportunity hidden inside the obstacle. For example, instead of telling yourself, "This is too difficult," try saying, "This is an opportunity for me to grow." Instead of saying, "I failed," tell yourself, "Now I know what doesn't work." This isn't merely feel-good advice. It changes the way your mind approaches challenges. It trains your brain to operate from a position of empowerment rather than limitation. Here's a simple practice you can start using immediately. At the beginning of each day, ask yourself, "What is good about today?" It may sound like a very small question, but it trains your mind to search for possibilities instead of automatically searching for problems. The more consistently you practice gratitude, optimism, and positive thinking, the more naturally your mind begins noticing the brighter side of situations. And that shift can directly influence your actions and eventually your results. Remember, people are naturally attracted to positive energy. Employers notice it, friends appreciate it, teams respond to it, and opportunities often move toward people who carry themselves with confidence and optimism. A strong, winning attitude can transform ordinary abilities into extraordinary results. So if you want to think bigger and live a bigger life, protect your attitude like something extremely valuable. Because your attitude isn't merely the way you look at the world, it becomes the lens through which you experience and shape your world. But here's something important. Big thinking without clear goals can easily become nothing more than wishful thinking. David Schwartz makes it clear that people who achieve extraordinary results aren't simply lucky or naturally smarter than everyone else. They learn to think bigger by setting clear, meaningful goals and then using creativity and determination to move toward them. Goals give structure to your biggest thoughts. They transform imagination into action. Without clear goals, even powerful ideas can slowly disappear. Think of your goals as your personal GPS. They give your mind a destination and help you decide which direction deserves your attention, while filtering out unnecessary distractions. But Schwartz also reminds us not to make every goal small, comfortable, and completely predictable. Set goals that stretch you. Choose targets that make you slightly uncomfortable. Choose goals that challenge your current abilities, because that is where meaningful growth begins. If your goals never excite you, or make you feel even a little nervous, perhaps they aren't big enough. Now, once you've established those ambitious goals, the next step is learning to think creatively about how you are going to achieve them. Schwartz believed that successful people learn to think up rather than constantly think down. Instead of immediately saying, "It can't be done," they ask a much more productive question: how can it be done? That one change in thinking can open the door to innovation. Creative thinking is often nothing more than problem solving from a wider perspective. When you stop obsessing over obstacles and start concentrating on possibilities, your brain becomes much more capable of discovering alternative paths around limitations. Here's a practical exercise you can try. Write down your most important goal. Then challenge yourself to come up with 10 different ways you could potentially achieve it. Don't criticize the ideas while you're writing them. Don't immediately decide that something is unrealistic. Simply allow your creativity to flow. You may be surprised by how many possibilities begin appearing once you stop convincing yourself that there is only one possible route to success. Very often, the most successful people aren't the ones who created a flawless plan from the beginning. They're the people who continued thinking, experimenting, adjusting, learning, and creating new strategies until eventually they found something that worked. There's another powerful idea from Schwartz. Visualize your success in vivid detail. Don't simply wish for your desired result. See it, feel it, believe that it is possible. Imagine what the finished result looks like, then work backward and identify the steps required to reach that destination. When your mind has a clear picture of where you want to go, it becomes easier to recognize potential routes that can take you there, sometimes even without consciously realizing it. And remember, goals aren't limited to careers, businesses, or financial achievements. You can create meaningful goals for personal development, relationships, health, learning, happiness, confidence, and the quality of your everyday life. The central idea is expansion. Ask yourself, how can I become more? How can I contribute more? How can I experience more? How can I grow beyond the person I am today? Every time you write down a meaningful goal, you're essentially making a commitment to yourself that you are willing to grow beyond your current limitations. So don't be afraid to dream bigger. Don't be afraid to think creatively. Big thinkers don't sit around waiting for the perfect plan to magically appear. They begin moving, learning, experimenting, and improving their plan along the way. Remember, goals are the bridge connecting dreams with reality. The moment you become clear about what you want and start thinking boldly about how you can achieve it, you've already started building that bridge. No matter how talented, ambitious, intelligent, or hardworking you may be, success is rarely a completely solo journey. David Schwartz reminds us that big thinkers understand the enormous power of relationships, They know how to encourage people, build confidence, create genuine connections, and help others grow. And they understand that thinking big isn't only about what you personally achieve, it's also about the positive impact you create while helping other people move forward. According to Schwartz, leadership begins with the way you treat people. Real leaders don't need to dominate others. They don't intimidate people into following them. Instead, they encourage, they listen, they support, they make people feel capable. They recognize potential where others may only see weaknesses. And because of that, people naturally feel drawn toward them. Think about the best leader, teacher, mentor, or guide you've ever encountered. They probably didn't simply give you instructions and expect you to follow them. Instead, they made you believe that you were capable of doing more than you had previously imagined. That is the essence of big thinking when it comes to relationships. One of the most important qualities of successful leadership is respect. Respect for other people's time, respect for their opinions, respect for their experiences, respect for their differences. Small thinkers often criticize, gossip, compare, and compete because they feel insecure about themselves. Big thinkers approach relationships differently. They collaborate. They create connections. They build bridges instead of walls. They concentrate on possibilities instead of constantly pointing out problems. When you think bigger, you realize that helping another person succeed doesn't reduce your own chances of success. In fact, it can expand them. Here's something practical you can start doing every day. Make genuine appreciation a daily habit. Give sincere compliments. Recognize people's efforts. Give credit when someone deserves it. Acknowledge progress, even when the final result isn't perfect. Sometimes a few honest and encouraging words can completely change someone's motivation, confidence, and outlook. Schwartz emphasizes that encouragement is one of the most powerful tools available to a leader. It doesn't cost anything, but it can completely transform individuals, relationships, and teams. Another important part of leadership is communication. Big thinkers understand how powerful their words can be. They learn to speak positively about other people instead of constantly engaging in criticism or negative conversations. Why? Because words create energy, and energy spreads. When you speak positively about people, they feel respected and valued. And over time, that sense of value often comes back to you through trust, cooperation, respect, and goodwill. Finally, remember that leadership isn't defined by a job title. Leadership is about influence. You are influencing people every day, whether you realize it or not. You influence your family, you influence your co-workers, you influence your friends, and perhaps most importantly, you influence yourself. So ask yourself, am I leading from fear or am I leading from vision? Big thinkers lead from vision. They create confidence in others not because they have every answer, but because they believe that answers can always be discovered. So if you genuinely want to think bigger, begin by thinking generously. Support other people. Encourage them. Believe in their potential just as strongly as you believe in your own. When you help someone else rise, you often rise alongside them. Because at its deepest level, the magic of thinking big isn't simply about creating a successful life for yourself. It's about creating a life that creates meaningful impact. Big thinking sounds inspiring, but here's the question that really matters. How do you turn it into a daily habit? How do you transform all these ideas into practical actions that genuinely change your life? David Schwartz explains that success isn't created through one dramatic moment of motivation. It is built through the small, consistent choices you make every single day. Big thinking cannot remain something you only practice when you're feeling inspired. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to become part of the way you approach everyday life. Start each morning by feeding your mind something positive. The thoughts you have during the first few minutes after waking up can influence the tone of your entire day. Instead of immediately grabbing your phone and exposing yourself to endless negativity, complaints, and distractions, spend a few minutes visualizing your goals. Picture yourself achieving them. Imagine what it feels like to succeed. Feel the confidence, feel the satisfaction, feel the pride. Feel the joy of knowing that you stayed committed to something meaningful. This kind of mental rehearsal can help train your mind to think and act in alignment with the future you want to create. Next, intentionally surround yourself with people who think big. Energy is contagious. The people you spend the most time with can influence the way you think, the beliefs you develop, and even what you consider possible for your own life. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain, criticize, make excuses, and settle for less, you may gradually begin shrinking your own vision without even noticing it. But when you connect with dreamers, creators, doers, optimists, and people who genuinely believe in growth, their belief can strengthen your own. Be intentional about the people you allow into your inner circle. Your environment can influence your future more than you realize. Another important habit is practicing gratitude and reflection. At the end of each day, take 5 quiet minutes and ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? And then ask, what can I improve tomorrow? This simple daily check-in can help you stay aware of your progress and keep your personal growth moving in the right direction. Remember, progress isn't always about making giant leaps. Most meaningful progress comes from taking steady, deliberate steps in the right direction. Schwartz also reminds us that thinking big should appear even in small actions. It should influence the way you present yourself. It should influence the way you communicate. It should influence the quality of work you deliver. It should influence the way you approach responsibilities and challenges. Carry yourself like the person you are working to become. If you want to become disciplined, practice discipline in small things. If you want to become excellent, give your best effort even when nobody is watching. If you want to become confident, start behaving like someone who trusts their ability to learn and improve. Because excellence isn't something that happens once. Excellence becomes a habit. When you consistently give your best effort, you begin developing a reputation, a mindset, and a level of capability that naturally creates new opportunities. And perhaps most importantly, never stop learning. Read books, listen to podcasts, study ideas that challenge your existing beliefs, watch content that expands your perspective. Talk to people who know things you don't. Every new idea has the potential to expand your mental horizons a little further. People who are committed to growth don't simply wait around for success to arrive. They prepare themselves for it. So, as we come to the end of this journey, remember one thing. The magic of thinking big isn't about becoming perfect. It's about believing in yourself. It's about setting goals that challenge you. It's about developing a positive attitude. It's about thinking creatively when obstacles appear. And most importantly, it's about taking consistent action every single day. Don't allow fear, doubt, excuses, or other people's limitations to make your dreams smaller. Start thinking bigger right now. Think bigger about your goals. Think bigger about your abilities. Think bigger about the possibilities in front of you. And most importantly, think bigger about the person you can become. Because your future isn't determined only by where you are today. It is also shaped by what you believe is possible and what you're willing to do about it. If you found value in this video, make sure to like it, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe to Rethink. For more inspiring book summaries, powerful ideas, and life-changing lessons, keep thinking bigger, keep believing in yourself, keep taking action, and I'll see you in the next video.